Hi guys, Royal Tanker back again. Yesterday, I wasn't sure if I was going to get any results from that video, and it turned out I did. I actually managed to get a comment from a subscriber, so big shout out to Failed Leadership 40k. Thank you for leaving your comment, and his comment is about these guys. Pretty much the leman russ tanks, the backbone of any guard armoured force. He wants to see what's the changes in 8th edition for the leman russ and a couple of its variants. So these are some of my leman russ tanks. I mean, this one was like an old one of mine. The reason why it's got this huge cut down it is because I've turned it into a wreck, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So pretty much the four variants you see is over here. You've got the Bob Standard leman russ battle tank. Then you've got the leman russ Exterminator with its autocannons. You've got the Executioner, which has the Executioner plasma cannon. And then finally you've got the leman russ Vanquisher, this one here. So, what are the differences in 8th edition to 7th edition? Well, in 8th edition, there's the two variants. There's the leman russ battle tanks, and then there's the leman russ demolishers. Pretty much you've got to pick and choose which variants you want, because a standard leman russ tank variant won't get things like the leman russ executioner cannon, for example, or the demolisher cannon. So you've just got to pick and choose where you want to go down that route. The standard leman russ tanks have got a power of 11. The leman russ demolishers have a power of 12. So not much difference there. What else is there? They've got the same amount of wounds. They've both got 12 wounds each, so that's a hefty chunk amount of wounds, which is adequate. The toughness 8, so these guys won't get gunned down by like las guns or anything like that. They can get harmed by bolters, but las guns, they won't get harmed by las guns, so that's lucky enough. They've all got a movement of 10 as they progressively lose wounds. So if they get to 6 to 4, then they only go 7, and if they're really down on their luck, which is 3 to 1, they can only move 4. So there's that. What else have we got to say? Well, strength 7. They've got a weapon skill of 6, so pretty much you really don't want these guys in close combat at all. What else have we got here? I'm just referencing my book, guys. So I've just got my book off to the side here. I'm just trying to figure out what to say. Well, guess we could do a little bit about the weapons. So everybody knows about the battle cannon. So the battle cannon is range 72, a heavy D6, strength 8, does a -2 to the armor, and does D3 damage, so pretty reasonable there. And then the difference between the standard leman russ and the leman russ Vanquisher battle cannon, or leman russ Vanquisher, is because this thing is a single shot, I believe. Yeah, Vanquisher battle cannon, it's range 72 again, it's heavy 1, it's strength 8 as the standard battle cannon. It does a -3 to the armor, so pretty much this is like your dedicated tank destroyer, and it does D6 damage. So it's quite good to having a little early tank destroyer. But it has a special rule, so that you roll 2 dice when inflicting damage with this weapon and discard the lowest. So when you get to the damage, say I rolled my 2 dice and I got, say, a 3 and a 5, I get rid of the 3 and I do 5 damage. So that's a pretty nice rule for having for this thing. So if you're down in your luck, you can always get a bit of a higher chance, or you could fail and get snake eyes. So there's always the options there. So, and then you've got the Exterminator autocannon, which is range 48, heavy 4, strength 7, -1 to your armor, and does 2 damage. So for each shot, it's doing 2 damage. So out of this thing, you'll do, I believe, a total of 8 damage with this thing. But it's probably recommended to shoot it at infantry or characters, possibly. Actually, no, I think that would be quite good against characters, doing 2 damage from each shot, so that's pretty good. And then you've got the Exterminator, Plasma Cannon. So, yeah, nothing much there. I mean, it's pretty much an average Plasma Cannon. It's range 36, so its standard shot is range 36, heavy D6, strength 7, -3 to your armor and does 1 damage. And if you supercharge it, it's same across the board, except it does 2 damage. And obviously it has the rule where if you roll a 1, the bearer suffers D6 mortal wounds after all of the weapon shots have been resolved. Which is actually, no, that's a special rule just for this cannon, because if I remember, if you supercharge a weapon, the wielder instantly dies. But with this, with the leman russ, yeah, I'll show you a bit more of that, but yeah, that's what I've done. Pretty much it's got emergency plasma vents on this thing, so if it does overheat, then it'll try and reduce the amount of damage or burn damage from what the plasma does. So that's a good rule, so at least if you overheat the vehicle, you won't instantly kill it. Unless you're on 6 wounds, then I recommend not overcharging it. What else to say? Pretty much I've built the variants as how I want them to be. So this one I've given it a las cannon. So yeah, just felt like it could be sort of like an anti-infantry / anti-armor. The Vanquisher, I've given it all 3. I've given it all heavy bolters and the Vanquisher, so that it can combat infantry and armor if the problem does come arise. So it has got itself to defend, so it's got enough weapons to defend itself. So there's that one, and then this is my ultimate infantry killer at the moment, because I've kitted it out with all heavy bolters and the autocannon. So, and it's I'm still deciding whether or not to, but he's my tank commander. So there's my 3 tanks there, and they're going to be my tank squadron at some point. But this was my old leman russ tank. So that's what it would have looked like, but now that's what it looks like, because I wasn't going to use this thing. I did this when I was very young, probably like 14 or 15 or something like that. But I've done a nice job on it, and I've done it so that it's a wreck. So pretty much it would kind of look like that. I do recommend you guys do this. If you've got any old vehicles or anything like that that you don't want to use anymore and you don't want to sell on, just take a good old saw to it, I guess, and make it into a wreck. It's always useful. So, yeah, Failed Leadership 40k, I thank you for the comment. I hope that this helped you out understand the leman russ tank and some of its variants in the new edition. Later down the line, I will explain more of the other variants. I just hope that this helps you out. And for any other guys out there, I hope this helps you out a little bit to get to know the leman russ tanks. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, leave comments, because they always help me out, and not just me, they help you, so I know what you want to see on the channel. And possibly the next video will be out in a couple of days' time. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.